Hello, my name's Chiffey and I'm the Spiritual Compass. So my life today, if you look at it, looks pretty awesome, and hell, it is. It's more than I ever imagined possible. I've achieved my lifelong dream, which is freedom, to be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want, and where I want. Hell, I felt like going to India, so 2 weeks ago, I booked myself and my partner return tickets to India, the drop of a hat. To me, that was my lifelong dream and goal. Now, if you rewind my life, oh, how far will we go back? Back to the beginning, right? As a child, I never felt like I fitted in. I had a psychologically and emotionally abusive father, and it left me feeling like I was useless, like I was nothing. In fact, the common thing he would say to me when I was growing up is that you're useless as tits on a bull. And the other one was, you're a gunner. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and you'll never do anything. So of course, this defined the belief systems about who I thought I was. And I went through life on a rampage, seeking love, acceptance, whole and completeness. And I did this in a myriad of ways. I used sex and men, I slept around profusely, drugs, alcohol, anything I ever started, I would never finish. I had all these dreams, but they never came to fruition because that you're a gunner belief system was playing in the background, right? And this lack of self-love and this inability to feel whole and complete, it manifested into some serious life lessons. One being an ice addiction, 2 being living temporarily on the streets, and 3 just being a broken mess. I had a myriad of mental health issues. I had drug-induced psychosis. I hit rock bottom pretty hard. And I remember at the time ringing my mum. This is probably the poignant time, ringing my mum, and I was living on the street in Auckland at the time, and just saying, Mum, I've got a drug problem. You've got to bring me home. I had no money. Fuck, I had nothing. All my money and time and energy went into going, where am I going to get my next deal from? And so, bless her cotton socks and her heart, she said, oh, darling, do you have a problem with marijuana? And I went, no. Not downplaying that, because that is also a big issue when, any addiction is an issue. And so she flew me home. And that was the beginning of some really difficult times. And difficult because the next major event to occur was finding out my dad had terminal cancer. And as painful as it was to lose him, it was also the greatest thing that allowed me to set myself free. Because when he got diagnosed, I made a deal with myself. I was like, you know what, this guy was not great to me. And it's not his fault. He didn't know any better, right? He didn't know that you don't treat children that way. He came from a very different era, a different generation, from the country. And so I decided to remove all blame from my father. And I was like, right, he has terminal cancer. He's got stage 4 bowel cancer. He doesn't have long. I'm gonna throw away all of my resentment, all of my hurt. I've got nothing else, right? I'm trying to recover from an addiction. I don't have any money. I'm not working. I decided at that stage to go back to university to study Buddhist philosophy. And I decided I'm gonna get to know you. At the same time, I got back into other things that I'd done as a kid, like dancing and netball and all these other beautiful things. But my main focus during that time, other than uni, was getting to know my dad. And it was beautiful because I spent so much time with him, and as we connected, I began to heal. And I know whatever was in him did as well. And the most poignant moment of that journey that really allowed me to break free from my addiction and empowered me to choose me for the first time in my life, and triggered this understanding that the only way I was going to be free was if I stopped seeking external validation and love outside of myself and found out a way to get it from within. And I remember the moment so clearly. I can tell you what was on the walls in the hospital room. I can tell you what side of the bed I was sitting on. So the poignant moment was this. I was holding my dad's hand, and my half-brother and sister were on the other side of the bed, and my sister was here, and he started to take his last breath. So we got called into the hospital, this is it. And this thing happens when people pass over and they die, they get what they call the death rattle. So they, and my dad was going through this, and the beautiful nurse was, telling him wonderful things. It's okay, Jeff, you can let go. And as I was holding his hand, of course, I was so upset. And I was holding his hand, and in my head, I was, what is he thinking about? What is he thinking about? Is he thinking about all of the hundreds and hundreds of hours he spent working 7 days a week because he was told he needed to acquire material possessions, and that's what men had to do, go and work hard? Is he thinking about the money he has in the bank? Is he thinking about the car he has, the house he owns? Or is he thinking about, shit, I can't bargain for more time here? What about all the things I didn't do? What about all the dreams I gave up on? What about all the opportunities I didn't take because I was afraid? I can't turn back now. This is it. I'm slipping away. And those thoughts, they changed everything for me. His death gave me the greatest gift that I've ever received in my life. And to this day, I am 100% convinced that that was why he passed. Because it opened up something in me to allow me to be in this point that I'm in now. And I don't care about the material things or the travel. Yes, great, I've reached my goal, I have freedom. However, I'm able to help hundreds of people open their own hearts and find their own freedom. And without his death, that wouldn't have happened. So my father's death awakened me to the fact that I was the only solution in my life, and that there is no way I was dying with regrets. There was no way in the world I was going to be taking my last breath and wishing I had have taken more chances, wishing that I had followed my dreams. So from that moment on, I found a new set of determination and courage that I'd never had before. And I went on a very long journey to heal myself. And through that journey, I did a myriad of different things. I ended up in a myriad of different places, studied with gurus, teachers, mystics, got a degree. And it was all beautiful. It wasn't all rosy. But if there's a message that I can give you, it's this. It all starts with a choice, a single choice. A choice and a burning desire to be free, followed on very closely by the realization that the only person in your life that can set you free is looking at you in the mirror. That is the recipe. Add in a sprinkle of tenacity and nothing will stop you. And if you're watching this and you feel like you're in rock bottom, or you feel guilty about things that you've done, let it go. It doesn't matter. The past is the past. In this moment, you get to choose. In this moment, you get to set yourself free. All that you've done before has no relevance or hold over you unless you focus on it, because in time, it's disappeared, right? So my loves, thank you for listening to my story, and I hope in some way it's inspired you to be your best, to die without regrets, and to follow your dreams. Namaste.